This podcast is brought to you by our amazing Anime Addicts community, which we love very much. If you would like to join this community, you can join our Discord, AAAdiscord.com. We have a lot of interaction with the Discord. It truly is a listener sort of a show for the listeners, by the listeners, a lot of listener input. So if you want to have input on the show, you can go to AAAdiscord.com. If you want to support the podcast as well, you can always go to AAApodcast.com/join or Patreon. And now it's time to start the show.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAApodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Hello and welcome to episode 714 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, the only podcast where the hosts dance so intensely that we mess up our hairdos to start the episode. Welcome everyone, my name is Mason and I'm here with two good friends to make your anime addiction worse. Joining me in the hat of comfort, the hat of the Patriots, the hat of football legends gone to die, is Mitsugi. How's it going,
I'm here. Yes,
you made it.
I'm here, and I have no hair at all. In fact, I shaved my head. I shaved my head today because I went to the Russian bathhouse, and so I have no hair at all.
Before the bathhouse or after the bathhouse?
I shaved
only bald people allowed at the bathhouse.
Well, it's one of those things where you want to, like when I go to an onsen in Japan, which is going to happen several times here in March. Not to rub it in. Y'all should go. The yen
you're
is
going to
still
be rubbing lots of stuff at the as you were.
The yen is still $150 to the dollar, people. If you want to go have the cheapest Japan trip,
love to see it.
Go to fucking Japan right now. The flights are very cheap in like June. No, but in Japan, you go to the onsen, you'll like brush your teeth, scrub the bottom of your feet, get as clean as you humanly can, and then you go get in the tubs. So, I tend to do the same thing here.
You brush your teeth?
Oh, it's a whole experience, Caroline.
It's,
Do they provide you with the toothbrush?
Yeah.
And the toothpaste?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's like
shave.
a little tape in like the plastic wrap. You like undo it.
Are they disposable toothbrushes?
Yeah. No, they're community use. There's 7 toothbrushes for everyone. And you hope you don't use it after the guy who messes up and uses it to clean his feet, but is what it is.
I'm just making sure.
Anyway, I'm here, and I am watching the hentai for the hentai episode after the show today, and
True to form.
it is probably as good or better than most of the shows I watch from winter. So, but I'm
Also
here.
true to form.
Glad to be here.
And also here, as you heard multiple times with the adorable penguin sweater, is Caroline. How's it
Hello. I do indeed have little penguins on my sweater. Yes. And I am doing well today. But I cannot believe nobody has commented on the fact that I got a haircut. What kind of friends
I was
are
kind
you?
of alluding to it with the hair getting messed up. It was just from the dancing. So intense.
You're looking so
Well, I'm
fine.
always adjusting my hair, so it's nothing new.
Me too. Me too. I get it.
It looks colored
and
to me.
No, just cut.
No?
Yep.
I
Oh
think
boy.
It's the radiance of my being.
I think it's the fact that our earbuds, or not earbuds, our headphones block the top versus the side. I think it like creates a divide between where there is and isn't the lighting.
I mean, I do
that's
have
my
my hair
excuse.
colored a bit, but it's not new.
Okay, well there you go.
So in this hentai, the girl said the demons come from the sea of trees, and I go, oh, that sounds interesting. So what does she do? She goes into the sea of trees, and
Spoilers.
now she's paying for it, and she goes, oh no, but I already gave this body to the Lord. Well, I tell you what, the zombie that just grabbed you doesn't care. That is what I'm watching right now. Back to you, Cotton.
a mere preview of what is to come after this main episode, where we record bonus episodes such as hentai episodes, so you can subscribe to that to get that, as well as our after party where we chat about all kinds of things, and our hobby addicts where Mitsuki just goes missing for half the time, finding the long lost kingdom of making his audio work. It's a grand old time. We love our bonus content, but if you don't love the bonus content and you don't want to spend money on us, that's okay. We forgive you. You can always leave us a review. That's free. You can always watch us on Twitch, where we stream live every Sunday at 5 p.m. And the visual entertainment is more than enough for free. And just go to Discord. You get to see the
penguin shirt.
The penguin shirt,
the penguin
haircut, the coloring that isn't new. And just join our Discord, which is also free and super fun, though you might get sucked into the degenerate gambling and end up spending money in more precipitous ways. So with that said, what are we actually going to do here today? Well, our main topic to celebrate the Lunar New Year is the best dragons in anime, as well as our final round of winter 2024 impressions. So we'll see which shows make the cut for reviews and which scraps will get lower down to you listeners for voting in the listener choice poll, which will be coming soon. So some of the shows we are doing today: Delicious in Dungeon, Metallic Rouge, Chained Soldier, Sengoku Youko, The Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil, The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, and Dr. Elise? Question mark?
Dr. Elise. What a stupid title.
I think there's more to the title, but I wasn't going to say the rest of it.
Like Dr. Elise, the lady with the lamp.
That one's going to fail just off the title.
Well, there you go.
Based on your list, you have no room to criticize Mitz.
Hey, I mean, yeah, you're right.
You're like, not wrong. Yeah. Let's get to the big news of the week.
It's time for big news of the week.
There's going to be a lot of gambling going on the Discord in the next 6 weeks probably, because we got both the anime Oscars coming out, which we will probably have voting for, is going to begin pretty soon. It might be like next week. And also winter listener choice will be next week too. So see, I'm telling you, like, there's lots of input from the listeners from the Discord. So you need to head over there and join the Discord. Anyway, big news of the week. Konami, this was kind of a slow news week, but I'm incredibly amazed we all found something anyway. Konami establishes its own anime studio and leads off with a 25th anniversary anime short of Yu-Gi-Oh! So everybody hates Konami, seems like. But
I have no idea what it is.
Konami's a game company that's very old. Started, I would say, in the 80s. They're famous for, we'll get into it in a second. The studio debuted that Yu-Gi-Oh card. I wouldn't mind having more Yu-Gi-Oh anime, to be honest with you, because everyone seems so nostalgic about Yu-Gi-Oh. But they are going to be investing in technology and using the know-how that they've generated from their game development into making animations. But primarily, they're going to work on other properties. But they specifically said you can probably expect some anime from their own properties, which I have their best-selling game properties of all time here. I'm just going to read through these, and I'm going to see how excited these get you guys, if you feel a little tingle in your happy place when I read these titles. So Pro Evolution Soccer is actually the #1 selling game from Konami with 114 million copies sold. That's fucking crazy.
I would not have guessed that.
That's a lot of fucking games.
Game.
Totally.
Yes.
Oh. These are the franchises, by the way. Metal Gear. Anybody interested in a Metal Gear anime?
Has there not already been one? I just feel like,
I don't know.
Just with the style of directing that those games have, they already feel like an anime sometimes. But yeah, that would work.
I would take it. This says Mario Party is a Konami property, but Caroline, I saw a
side publisher on it.
Let me just tell you something. So I just saw Caroline bounce in her seat when I said Mario Party.
Recognition.
We are big Mario Party people in my house, and I don't want to brag, but you will be stunned when you see the game and movie setup in the living room here. So there's going to be some epic Mario Party.
I will say right now, I am a superstar Mitz, so don't get it twisted here.
I can't wait. And we have the new one, too. Frogger, I don't know what they would do with that. Let me just read through here. Let's see if Caroline knows any of these. That one you won't know.
That's the game here.
Castlevania?
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Castlevania. What do you think, Mason? It could be a decent anime. Well,
Isn't
it's
there already the Castlevania?
That's true. There is.
It's a Western.
But
it's not technically an anime, but it's already has a solid
they should
adaptation.
But
I know
it's still
that.
good. Castlevania, great game, great franchise.
They're never going to be able to do it as good as the Netflix one, though. I mean,
No,
that is stupid good.
That doesn't seem. What's the point?
I'm not sure. Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, we already mentioned. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Come on, Caroline.
All right. I've never seen it, but I know what it is.
The Legend of Momotaro. 19 million copies? What?
I didn't know that was a game. I
didn't either.
Gotta love Peach Boys.
There's like 7 of them apparently. Let's see. Rounding out the list, Bomberman. I'm not gonna lie. I could fuck with a Bomberman.
The aesthetics are really cool.
Yeah, it's cute. It's very cute. Yeah. I could fuck with that for sure. 14 million copies for the Bomberman franchise. That's surprising, actually. Silent Hill. Silent Hill can make a good anime. We need a horror anime that's quality.
We're getting a new Silent Hill.
Is it the remake of Silent Hill 2?
Yeah.
Because that shit is fucking scary. And
isn't there a new playable demo of another one similar to PT?
I'm not sure. But I might wet myself playing the remake of Silent Hill 2. Do you know Pyramid Head, Caroline?
No.
Well, really? He's like an icon. Like,
is that in Silent Hill?
Yeah, it came out. He was from Silent Hill 2, and people love him so much that like they basically just there was at least two Pyramid Heads at every anime con for like a whole decade probably after that game came out.
Yeah, but that's just because all it takes to be a Pyramid Head is wear a toga bottom and then have no shirt on. People just want to be like, oh, what if I just expose my body but hide my ugly face? The perfect cosplay.
And then rounding out the list is Contra and Suikoden, which I'm going to guess Caroline doesn't know those, but...
Nope. Does not ring a bell.
Out of this list, I'm actually the most eager for probably Bomberman. I'm really feeling that. Like, that vibe is solid. Bomberman is so cute, and it's already pretty much animated. I mean, they could do it. I mean, the problem is people hate Konami. Konami's very abusive to their employees, which is why they hate them. Yeah,
and they also took all these legendary franchises and just turned them into pachinko games and cash grabs and mobile stuff, and don't make quality content. But in
case anybody's wondering what the highest selling Konami game of all time is, and then we'll move on, is shockingly Frogger from 1981, 20 million copies. That's so lame. Frogger. Kiss my butt. I'm not a fan. All right. That's my news. I don't know what Konami's going to do. Probably nothing good, but what do you want on a slow news week? Caroline?
All right. Well, I think we've already discussed in the past that Kimi ni Todoke from Me to You is getting a third television anime season,
That's crazy.
First in 30 years. So if you're ever waiting on a sequel season of a show that you love, you can still hold on to hope. Crazier things have happened. So it will be exclusively streaming on Netflix worldwide this year. But another piece of Kimi ni Todoke news is that Netflix began streaming a new English dub for the first 2 seasons of the 2009-2011 anime Kimi ni Todoke. Sorry, I was just reading things word for word, so I got confused. But yeah, new dub. So if you've never watched the show, because there wasn't a dub, which I know there is at least 1 or 2 people on our Discord who have that, that what's the word? I don't know. A tendency to do.
I was going to say affliction, but that works too.
Well, this might be pretty exciting. And it's a pretty decent anime. I've watched the first season, have not watched the second. I wasn't planning on watching the second, but since there's a new season coming out, I might catch up. We'll see what happens. But that's pretty interesting that it's getting a dub after 13 years. Crazy.
This is a series that I think Pancake would really like because she was really into the Sign of Affection, even though I find it a little boring. But she loved the manga, and I know Kimi ni Todoke is a very well loved series. But the fact that it's getting a 3rd season is so wild. It might be worth. I haven't actually watched it, so it might be worth watching. And I would like to take this up
based on your likes and dislikes. I don't know how much you'll love Kimi ni Todoke.
I just want a romance where they have romance. That's it. Oh, it's not a lot to ask for.
Doesn't exactly get there by the end of the first season, I can tell you that.
When does it get there by the second season?
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
Oh,
but from what I heard, the second season is more like a 2 steps forward, 1 step back season.
That's not
where,
good.
Like, progress was made, but then it reverted, and then season 3 will probably be actual progress. But if you don't know what Kimi ni Todoke is about, it's about a girl who looks like Sadako from The Ring. So she gets made fun of, like considered bad luck, kind of ostracized.
Her name's also Sawako, which doesn't help.
Her name's Sawako. But she starts making friends with one of the most popular boys in school. He's very charismatic, very positive, and he tries to help her get out of her shell and make new friends. And it's basically their friendship turning into an eventual relationship, but not one that gets anywhere crazy by the end of the show. But it's more about relationships and friendship and good feelings.
Sawako's a fucking stick. She's literally 5'3", and she weighs 92 pounds. Girl, you're going to break in half. The wind will just snap you.
That's insane.
Speaking of being snapped, I would like to take this opportunity to say that this girl really should not have gone into the deep forest, because things have taken a turn for the worse, and I am very concerned for her safety and the future of her mental state. It's very not good. Yeah. Yep.
I love getting random updates from your hentai.
Hey, that was pretty. That was a pretty PG update, to be honest with you. So I kept it clean. I can't say I'm always going to succeed, but I tried. That was just for you.
Well, thank you.
I already ruined Mason, so he's beyond hope at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I've already snapped mentally years ago.
Anyway, speaking of
my
snapping,
big news is a fun little news story about the Ghost in the Shell online account being hacked before it faked being hacked. So, February 3rd, 2024 marks an important date in the fandom of Ghost in the Shell, because in the first season, Standalone Complex, that was the in-universe date where this big villain appears with what's called the Laughing Man incident. I'm not going to spoil anything, but the Laughing Man is this ruthless hacker who takes over not only the eyes and senses of the general populace, which is kind of perfect timing considering Apple Vision and Neuralink kind of starting up and making waves, but this hacker in the universe of Ghost in the Shell takes over this high-profile CEO and like manipulates him and his accounts and does all these things. So the Ghost in the Shell Twitter profile, as well as a bunch of the actual official websites for Production IG and Kodansha, the companies that made Ghost in the Shell, had these profile pictures of their CEOs and other accounts like plastered with this Laughing Man, iconic symbol all over it. Kind of just, bringing awareness, being like, haha, remember when this was a thing? That's so funny. Marking the occasion. And they're doing a bunch of stuff happening in Japan, subscriptions and free streaming. So it's all fun and games, and it's a good time. But a couple days before this fake hacking incident, they actually got hacked by an unauthorized user.
Got him.
Their Twitter and all this other stuff. And while they say no reports of damage was caused, it is funny that they got hacked just right before and just could have just ruined the whole surprise. So is this big news? Is it important? No. It's just a way to say, watch Ghost in the Shell if you haven't. It's just really good and really iconic and just a cornerstone of what makes anime good today. So there you go. That's my big news of the week.
I need to get back on my Gundam-ness. It was so funny. After I talked about the Gundam movies, which were pretty good, so many people reached out to me and they were like, oh, Mitz is watching Gundam. This is so great. I have a very good confidant, namely Frigimon, that will guide me on the path of righteousness of Gundam. And I am told, yes, I'm told I need to watch the 8th MS Team and War in the Pocket. Those are the ones that's my homework. I don't know where to fucking find these shows though. They don't exactly stream anywhere. I don't know why I said that, but this girl, she's in the cave now. She's in a cave with a sword, and there's an abomination. that looks like a vagina dentata, and she's fighting it. Oh, she killed it. Nope, she's trying. It can't be killed.
And with that, let's get to our main topic, which was a suggestion from Lady Emery in the Discord, who said, in honor of the upcoming Lunar New Year, what are the best dragons in anime?
Yay!
So we each have assembled a list. We have tried not to copy each other, so you're going to get some unique picks here.
Yep.
And yeah, whatever we missed in the chat, let us know. What I don't think these are ranked in any sort of like strongest order. I think just generally
I
we like them more.
Order.
How could you possibly?
Order?
Or no, you meant like strong as in like, how strong the characters are.
If they fought, like how long, who would win. It's not like that.
No. It's more about favorites.
None of us have seen Fairy Tail, I think. So if you're here expecting 13 Fairy Tail dragons to make the list, I'm sorry. You get an honorable mention. I bet some of them are cool, but they're not on my list. So with that said, we are just going to run through these we'll just bounce around in any order, and we'll see which ones are as good as we remember or maybe aren't as good as we remember. So I can go first with Masotan.
Masotan.
Hisone and Masotan, which is a super weird... I don't think a lot of people watched it, or if they did, they don't really like it a lot, because it had a lot of promise, but it didn't do much with it. But this is the series where she works, this Hisone character works for like the government, and instead of flying fighter jets, they fly fighter jet infused dragons, where the dragons are like half plane, half dragon. This was like a Studio Bones thing. It was an original, and it just is, it's odd. And can't even describe, because you're like, oh, I'm going to see cool like fight scenes and stuff against like war type stuff. No, not really. It's just people lazing around, being goofballs, doing a funny dance in the opening. But the dragons are really cute, which is weird to say for something that's half fighter jet. But overall, I like the dragons in this one. No one watched it. No one really cares. But it holds a place in my heart for just being so unique and weird. So that's my first pick. Who wants to go next?
I will.
I doubt you guys have seen this one.
I have more picks here than Caroline does, so I
yeah, you go next, and it's.
Well, everybody loves Bahamut. I mean, Bahamut's been cool since Final Fantasy. I'm not sure where Bahamut probably predates Final Fantasy, but I don't know from where. In video game and anime culture, Bahamut probably came from Final Fantasy. I'm just gonna make a guess. That's probably like from the late 80s. So. But there's also Rage of Bahamut, the anime, and that's a pretty cool show that came out of nowhere and surprised a lot of people with just its sheer style. You know, I think that was one of the rare shows that kind of had it's not similar to Cowboy Bebop in any way, other than the fact that it just has like this it factor flair, where you're like, this is just like hitting the right vibe, and I don't know why exactly, but it just was. But Rage of Bahamut, you know, the most of that anime is about trying to prevent Bahamut from awakening. And he's fucking huge. If you haven't watched Rage of Bahamut Genesis, I think there was another one, but I don't recall it being very good. Rage of Bahamut Genesis was really solid and worth watching for most audiences that just love an action-packed, fun, like, adventure. So, and then the Bahamut in there is just fucking crazy. I mean, he's enormous. I mean, it's like way past what you would expect. I mean, we're talking about a Godzilla-sized dragon, so if not bigger. So pretty cool stuff. Bahamut from Rage of Bahamut is probably the strongest on this list that I have, but it's not like I don't know, not my favorite or anything, but.
Yeah, I watched like one episode of Rage of Bahamut, like back in my early anime watching days, and I just couldn't get it over the main character's hair. He looks like broccoli.
Oh, it's not going well over here in this show I'm watching.
Oh my gosh, can you stop talking about the hentai?
I didn't say anything about hentai. I just said it wasn't going well. It really isn't.
Well, what book could you possibly be referring to, Mitz?
Well, would you like me to elaborate?
No, I'm good.
Well, then why'd you ask?
Let's continue. Because I'm asking you to stop!
Well, basically, the monster was, doing things that it shouldn't have. And then she goes, I got to get out of here. So she sticks her arm through this, like, thing that's actually the monster's teeth. And it just bites her arm off. And then, like, blood is just spraying out of her arm. And I guess the take from the monster was, well, I don't really need her arm. So he's already got what he needs. And he's just didn't need the arm. So then it's just not good.
That's sexy as hell.
It's
wow.
Well, I don't know if it is or isn't, but it's not going well. Mason, I think you're probably up. Or maybe, yeah.
So
no, Mason
no, it's
can go
Caroline's
next,
up. Caroline.
Well,
whoever
we can
wants
even
to go.
it out. Mason, go.
I'll even
Mason,
it out. My next pick might surprise some people, but sometimes being memorable is enough to make your claim and stake your claim, if you will. And so I'm going to have to go with Teo Chloris from Arifureta. So you might not remember this character, and neither did I at first. I had to dig deep. But something happened to this character, who is a dragon. No, she has a female form, but she also has a dragon form.
Oh, I remember her.
And when we last see her in her dragon form, she's being fought against by the hero. And as you all know, dragons have scales all over their body, which makes them invincible. No attacks can harm them. So often, in a lot of dragon-based fantasy shows, the way you kill the dragon is you go inside them. So a hero will get, like, eaten and then attack from the inside out, emerging victoriously from the stomach or something, of the dragon. We've seen it 1,000 times. The hero in Arifureta in episode 9, if you really just have that morbid curiosity, decides to take another approach and decides, if the inside is vulnerable and I need to attack where there aren't scales, there's another way to get inside. And in which case he rams essentially a warhead into this dragon's butthole to inflict the damage. At which point the dragon reveals that she kind of likes it and is actually a massive perv and joins the hero's party as a team member because she's just so endeared to the hero's way of thinking.
She's very hot.
So she's not as lovable as some of the others here, but
I don't know. I don't agree.
That's an unforgivable moment in anime, and I think she deserves to be on this list because of that. So, Teo Chloris from Arifureta is my next pick.
All right, look, I just got to say something. All I said was that it's not going well in this show that I have on and that the monster was doing things he shouldn't do. Caroline's hiding her face. It's over. Game over. Too much to handle.
Mason comes for something gross to say.
Mason comes along and he's talking about shoving warheads up people's asses, and she likes it. And Caroline's just like giggling, and it's all good. I mean, what is that?
Because it's ridiculous. It's so.
Oh, come on. I feel like you just expect the worst.
From you,
I mean, yeah.
From Mason,
probably should.
Anything gross coming out of Mason's mouth is usually funny.
Mason,
anything gross that's coming out of your mouth is usually gross.
Oh, come on. Okay. Anyway, so you're saying
you can go next.
So you're saying my comments are like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm guessing not as cultured as some other people, Mitz.
It's all good. I don't know. Whoever's next, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to go. So I have Lars from Bastard, surprisingly. Now,
really?
Yeah. And now the reason being is that Lars is one of the only male characters on the show that is actually not a D-bag. Like, he actually is respectful, and he's also really cute as a little baby dragon. And I know that he has, like, that whole backstory. Did we get to that in the anime? I did read the Wikipedia page just to, like, remind me, but I couldn't remember if it actually happened in the anime that he, like, has his whole backstory where he's not actually a dragon, but he is a dragon now. But altogether, I like him because he really sets himself apart from the rest of the Bastard cast.
He just hangs around with scumbags and him just being a normal person.
Yeah.
I
instantly.
I don't think Dark Schneider was a scumbag. I think he was very respectful and just a doggone good time, to be honest with you.
Yeah, okay.
I would shoot pool and drink whiskey with Dark Schneider.
I would probably do the same, but with the expectation he would probably smack my ass and many other gross things.
Oh, he would definitely grope you mid-shot.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, I'm just trying to win. And you're like, come on.
I mean, you told me that you shoot pool, so that'll probably happen.
Yeah.
If you're being serious.
but thankfully Darkshire will not be there.
Indeed.
Anyway, up next.
Oh, okay. So I always like to do a throwback here, and I put a link because I picked this dragon because he just looks so fucking cool. And I will try to get it on the Twitch for people, but it'll take me a minute because I'm never prepared. But that is Shooting Star, or Ryusei, from Record of Lodoss War. And if you click on the link that I highlighted and scroll down a bit, you'll find the red dragon is like a big red dragon face.
Yeah.
He looks fucking cool. I mean, he just does. And because Record of Lodoss is old and is just super fucking based, to be honest with you, the fact that this dragon is just hand-drawn, it just makes it even cooler. And he just looks like everything I want in a dragon. He's got spiky... I'll try to get it on the Twitch, but he's got like spiky, like stuff coming off of all over his head. So he's very dinosaur-like. He's got yellow eyes, many rows of just sharp-looking teeth, and in this shot, there's just like magma flowing, and it just looks so cool. And I don't know, I couldn't ask for more. And just because when you see a dragon, you want it to be like, there's a dragon right there, and like there's usually an impending feeling of danger because I mean dragons are, a mythical creature that generally is not friendly, and this is no exception. But he looks cooler than most, so that's why I put him on the list. And I'll get the picture here on Twitch in a second. But Ryusei, the Shooting Star from Record of Lodoss. And Record of Lodoss is pretty neat if you like D&D type stuff. People that are listening may not know about Record of Lodoss because this is like 80s, early 90s type stuff, but Record of Lodoss is a very solid early anime for D&D fans. So, and you get more than dragons. You get D-Lit too, and you get Parn. You got the dwarf, the healer, the barbarian, the elf. It's all in there. Very, very much recommend for people. So,
yeah, if we were making this list based on which of these dragons would you want painted on the side of your van, this would win. This is the one that you're like, okay, that's really cool. Just the uncountable number of razor sharp teeth in the hand-drawn style that Mitch talked about is just so rad.
It's very rad. Yeah. All right, that's my pick. Yeah, happy Chinese New Year. Next.
Yep. My next pick had to pick something from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. There's a lot to choose from. You have Kana, you have Toru, you have all sorts of dragony type folks, but I had to give it to my boy Fafnir, who is so just awesome. He just sits all day, plays video games, just is a cool dude bro with his best buddy roommate, and it's just so chill. And I like him. He is just I think he best embodies how I think a dragon would actually be, just kind of being super interested in the world, but being too lazy for actual world domination, and just hangs out. And I'd hang out with him. I'd hang out with Fafnir. Probably more than most of the people on this list. So, sorry, I didn't choose the one with the big tits, but that's how it is.
The big tits?
Yeah.
Oh, several.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the one.
The one. You almost have to wink with both eyes to make the point on that one.
I can't remember. What was that dragon? You're talking about from the second season?
Yeah.
I mean, she was like dragging those things. They were so big. Like, I don't know what the fuck.
She was dragging them.
Oh my god. Oh, what have I done? Oh my god. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to top that. What do you got next?
Next up, another dragon I would like to hang out with, Dragonite from Pokemon. The reason being, one of the reasons being, is that he's not what you expect. For one thing, all of his prior forms are blue and slithery like a snake. They're very pretty.
Aww.
And then the final evolution in the typical I don't know if they get like even more evolutions after that.
Nope, you got it.
Final evolution is giant, orange, bulbous friend.
Thick,
He's a friend.
rotund.
He's rotund.
Voluptuous.
He looks absolutely nothing like the prior evolutions. And he just looks like friend. He's like, hey guys, I am one of the more desirable Pokemons here. but I certainly don't look like it. He just
Dragonite,
looks cute. He was
easily the
made
second
for
best
plushie.
dragon.
Made
Second best
for
dragon.
plushie. I know I was thinking of Charizard, but
Nope, not Charizard.
here's the thing. Oh,
Boo.
what is it then?
The best dragon Pokemon.
Is it Gyarados? Does he count?
No.
That is a dragon.
Is Gumi.
I don't
What
know
the
this
hell
one.
generation is that from?
I need to check.
You look up Pokemon Gumi. You'll be like, that's not a dragon, and you'll be like upset with me. But no, Gumi, he's just so funny. He's so doofy looking.
Fuck
Oh, how do you?
generation
Is
this?
it? Is it
Gommy.
Gen 6?
MMY.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that monster. Look at those eyes of death.
That's not a dragon.
I hate to be
Gumi
like,
is considered the weakest dragon type Pokemon.
Yeah, but in my heart, he looks silly, and that makes me laugh.
He does.
No, Dragonite was on my list too, but once I saw Caroline had it on hers, I was like, well, clearly I'm not going to beat that. No, Dragonite's
He's just
awesome.
not what you expect, because he's just... Whenever I picture him in a human form, he's just like, hey guys, with a hand up, waving at you. just totally chill, bulbous friend.
I have...
McDonald's came out with a new Happy Meal. Do you guys want to go? Like, that's Dragonite.
yeah, I would.
Yeah, made for plushie.
Oh my God! I have big news of the week that I should have said and I forgot.
Well, say it now.
Jim Carrey is coming back to play Dr. Robotnik in the third Sonic movie.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding?
It's happening.
That was like...
How are you going to lose your best actor?
I was like having the worst work day on Friday last week, and then that news hit me, and I was like, nothing else matters. Fire me now. If you're gonna fire me, do it right now, because this is just enough to make me happy. Wow, that movie's gonna be fucking awesome. I hate to sound like the dad rock king of the world, old man, but to me, if it's not in Gen 1, to me it's not even a Pokemon. So. Sorry, Gumi.
Limit is probably 3 generations. Other than that, I have no idea who's there.
Anyway, my next pick is Haku from Spirited Away.
I would have put this on my list, yeah.
He's just a very cool looking dragon, more of like your Shenlong type, flowy, long-bodied dragon. But, I don't know. I can't remember if I saw it coming or not, but, it's pretty cool, and the scene with them flying around in the sky is an all-time anime moment. Great, probably. And Haku is pretty cool. And he's so cool. He's like, when he's on the bridge and he like blows his little like fucking flower petals or whatever he does, and he's just a cool dude, and, I like him. So there's not much more to be said. Everybody knows Spirited Away. And for God's sake, if you haven't watched Spirited Away yet as a listener, like, you should just do that now, pretty much. It's on HBO, I think. So, that's, I don't know, if not the most known anime movie ever, probably it's one of them. So you should definitely go see that. But I have to imagine most people have seen that.
I just started watching Whisper of the Heart last night, but I haven't finished it yet.
So fucking good.
So
yeah,
good.
we're discussing it for Anime Club this week. So
yeah, Pancake mentioned that, and Whisper of the Heart is one of the better
Super overlooked.
Yes, one of the better Ghibli films, because the directing and writing is just insane, but it's not like fantasy, so people don't like think of it.
I was surprised by that. I'm like, okay, so this is like not fantasy, but it's still pretty good.
It's just an unbelievable story. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, whoever's next, feel free.
Did you finally get to the lo-fi beats scene of that movie, Caroline?
I did. I'm like, wait a minute, is that Lo-Fi Girl?
That is Lo-Fi Girl. That's the OG.
I had no idea. idea.
The R.I.P. Kondo is too soon. Anyway, next up, I have Nevin from Ancient Magus Bride. And I know it's kind of a silly name for a dragon. It kind of sounds like Kevin, but hey, he's pretty cool. So Nevin was that super huge, big dragon whose bodies like become so big that they can no longer fly, and they like deteriorate and become part of the forest and kind of support everything. And just super chill. Obviously, it wasn't even moving. It wasn't going anywhere. Dude who kind of befriends Chisei and kind of gives her this really emotional moment near the end of their interaction with each other, and kind of shares his dreams with her. And kind of the opposite case of some of these things where it's not super, like you don't remember Nevin for his own personality, but kind of his impact on the series as a whole. It's touching, it's beautiful, and he's just a cool big monster. And he's probably one of the bigger ones on this list. And big is cool, so that's all I got. I don't know. Caroline.
Next one.
Yeah.
This one is certainly not big, but is cool. It's Hattori Soma from Fruits Basket. And I say that because he's not actually shown as a dragon. He's a seahorse and very small at that. Yeah. So
I love that though.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what's he gonna be? No.
Just I need to get some water. Yeah. So have not finished Fruits Basket. I still have to watch the last season, which I will get to eventually. But yeah, he's pretty cool. He's likable. He's chill. He's a seahorse. And he is hot as hell. He's really hot. That's why he made it to the list. That's all. I can't really say much about him. Like, he's not really focused on that much in the show. So, yeah.
And just when you thought it couldn't get worse for this girl, it does. It's just unbelievable. What is she doing?
How much more is in this hentai you're watching?
I don't know, but this is the worst forest ever. She should not be here. And
is that the name of the hentai? The worst forest
Nope,
ever?
the hentai is called Sinistar. Sinistar, and it just came out, and it's very... Yeah, she should definitely not be in this forest. This is not
Caroline, if you were on Tinder and there was someone who came up and it said, cool, nice, sexy, seahorse, which way you swiping?
I'm swiping right. It's so I would have no idea what it means, but I like seahorses.
Your
I
first
probably
message,
would.
what does it mean?
Just doesn't
I would
learn.
not expect what that refers to in that he is actually a seahorse. I would probably be a little weirded out, but I would swipe right.
Yeah, probably.
All right, the next one is the Escaflowne from the anime Escaflowne. Very predictable for me. One of the coolest mechas, I don't know, that I know of. Retains the very real robot, inner working machinery. You get to see the gears moving and all that. And, I mean, it fucking transforms into a dragon that you can ride. I mean, it's one of the coolest.
Does that count, though?
I don't give a shit.
Well, that again, I did list a seahorse, so I guess I have no room to.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
But he is the dragon. He's the dragon spirit. He just can't be a dragon at this time.
Look at this newbie. Melancholy Price from the Twitch. I love you, but he's like, I'm surprised Mitch is not watching any of the following. Dragon Pink. Are you kidding? I was watching Yes, it is as it sounds, Dragon Pink. And I watched Dragon Pink decades ago. Decades. Dragon Rider. I'm not sure about Dragon Rider, but Dragon Pink. Come on, Dodo Cobra. Come on. That's all you got to say. For Dragon Pink. Anyway, whose turn is it?
Well, are you done with Escaflowne?
Oh, no. I don't need to say much more about Escaflowne. I mean, it's a great anime. Some people like it, some people don't, but it's very well made. It's got great animation, great music. It's a shoujo. How many shoujo mecha anime are there? Honestly, count on one hand, probably. Count on like two fingers.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, it's very unique anime, and some of the characters in there are a little annoying. People don't like the cat girl character, even though she doesn't hang around very long. But the Escaflowne, I mean, it's literally a mech that fights with a sword that can turn into a dragon. It's fucking awesome. So that's my that's my pick. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. My next pick has to be Ryuichi Kazuma, who goes by the nickname Dragon in Ping Pong the animation.
Oh, right.
He's not like Fafnir or Tio, who like switches between dragon form and human form. No, he just is a human all the time. But he's depicted as a dragon in some of the more elaborate, what's the word? Abstract ping pong battles. But everyone calls him Dragon. Like that's his mindset. That's his colors. That's his vibe. And he gives off dragon vibes. He doesn't breathe fire, but he's just a monster. He just terrorizes everyone he comes across, and he's easily one of the best characters in all of anime with his growth, the story that is told through him without really ever being told from his perspective. And yeah, just a great character who deserves all the love in the world, and therefore he's on the list. He's making it. I don't care about your rules, and I'm putting him on. And if you're upset that he's not a dragon, I'll just steal the suggestion from Azulet, who says Mushu from Mulan, which obviously not an anime, but still great dragon, god tier dragon. Lines, voice acting, just great comic relief. Love to see him. So sure, put him on the list.
Well, if we're opening that can of worms, then I'm putting Uncle Iroh, the Dragon of the West, on this list. Because that is his nickname in Avatar. He's not a dragon. He's not even in an anime.
But he's amazing. This is an inclusive list. People are allowed to be on it.
Listen, last time we did a list for best robots, I put Norm from Phineas and Ferb. So
yeah, why not?
Yeah. Okay, so last thing on my list, and this technically is 4 dragons I'm putting on my list, but I summarized into one. All the dragons from Yona of the Dawn. We got Jeha, who's freaking awesome. We got Kija, who's less awesome, but still a good boy. We got Zeno? Is it Zeno? I don't know how to pronounce it. But he is the good boy, and the best good boy in the entire world, whose name is escaping me. What's his name?
The best boy in the whole world. You can't remember his name.
Okay.
Wow.
I was all ready to ask you to rank them, but then you...
One second. Give me a moment.
Well, while you're looking, this is just not good in this show. I mean, it is just not good.
Thank goodness we are getting updates.
Worse, or are they just...
I don't know how this girl's... I don't know how she's alive at this point.
Shin-Ah, that's his name. It would be tough for me to actually rank them. I would probably go Shin-Ah, Jeha, Kija, Zeno. But they fluctuate. They're still kind of neck and neck, but I would say Shin-Ah and Jeha are definitely favorites. But yeah, they just all have their own distinct personalities. I love them. I love their relationship with Yona. I love that they've got this little family going on. No, they are not proper dragons because they are mostly human, but they do get dragon forms in the manga at the very least. So therefore, there you have it.
There you have it.
Thanks. Mitsugi, before you go to your next one, I went on AniList and I looked up shoujo and mecha shows.
Uh-huh.
And the only other one besides Escaflowne was Magic Knight Ray Earth.
Is that even a mecha? Aren't they more like magical girls?
I mean, they are, but there's probably a mecha element to it. I don't know. I haven't seen more than like an episode of the first one.
And does it have a mecha in it?
It's categorized as mecha. I can't.
Okay, so what you're saying is Escaflowne might be the only
possibly
shoujo anime that's also, I almost said hentai, shoujo anime that's also mecha. Well, since Melancholy Price on the Twitch was so kind to name a couple hentais that had the word dragon in it, I decided to go ahead and queue one up. So now, because that last one ended, it was just not a good.
We were so close.
Well, you'll be happy to know that that Dragon Knight Gaiden is a 50-minute long episode, so it'll last us the whole rest of the episode, Caroline. So you're in good shape. Anyway, my last dragon pick, very predictably, is Shenlong from Dragon Ball Z, because I would literally... I'm like, are you kidding? Do you even know who I am? I will have a child and raise them exclusively on Dragon Ball for the first 10 years of their life.
I worry for this child.
I will chain you to a chair. It was better than watching Coco Melon. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z is full of dragons, and Shenlong is just a dragon that a lot of us grew up with. And probably the most recognizable dragon in anime is Shenlong. I would make a wager that's probably true. Unless Charizard is a dragon, he might be more, but I'm not 100% sure. But
he's a lizard. He don't count.
Is Charizard not dragon type?
No, he's not a dragon type.
Unless
the mega.
The mega makes him a dragon.
He's unbelievably a dragon. I'm confused by that.
Dragon, wyvern-ass lizard.
What? A wyvern is a fucking dragon, is it not? A baby dragon?
Kind of.
Whatever.
No,
anyway.
It has just a different arrangement of limbs and wings.
Whatever. Anyway, so Shenlong, I'm speaking to the probably 20 million, maybe, I don't know, probably the 5 million children in the 90s that came home after school every day and sat down and religiously watched Dragon Ball Z on Toonami every day. And for those kids, including myself, the moment when Shenlong gets summoned, which, by the way, doesn't happen much in Dragon Ball. I'm pretty sure the first time it happens in Dragon Ball might be on Namek. I mean, I'm not even 100% sure. It doesn't happen a lot. It's like a once in 100 episode thing. And honestly, when it happened, it was so fucking intense and awesome that it just simply has to be at the top of the list. It's just out of sheer reverence for Shenlong that he belongs at the top of the list. And besides, he looks fucking awesome. He's got like his antlers are made out of like wood. I don't know. He's fucking badass. So Shenlong obviously, and Goku with his But I tell you, King Kai said he didn't want you to go past like Kaioken 2, but you did it anyway. And Vegeta, he's gonna be off your beam soon and mad as a hornet. So I'm just gonna say that. All right, is that? Oh, we got a couple more.
One more, and that has to be, if I couldn't have something from Pokemon in there, I had to go with a Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Oh,
probably the most iconic dragon on a card, because every kid in the 90s had this goddamn Yu-Gi-Oh card. And anytime you tried to play, you'd come up against this big old dude with a stupid 3,000 attack, and you saw it every single game, and it was so stupid. No, Blue Eyes White Dragon, super cool look, face of the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise from the monster design, besides like Karibo or Stupid Magician or whatnot. But yeah, just so many good memes of Blue Eyes White Dragon. So many good cultural icons that just makes him he has no personality. No one is like, how is Blue Eyes White Dragon to hang out with? Is he a friend like Dragon Knight? You don't know that. Is he a super cool badass like the Lodos Dragon? No one knows. He's just this unperceptible wall of 3 heads, and you're just like, yeah, that's a cool dragon. And that's all there is to say. But that's enough to get him the number 1 spot on my list. So there you go. Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns supreme.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. I do like Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't fuck it up, Konami. You got this.
How long is the short? Like 6 minutes?
I thought they said it was 25 minutes. Let me just see.
Oh, it's a full thing?
Oh, no, that was the 25th anniversary.
Oh, maybe.
Well, let me just see. Blah, blah, blah. Is this the whole thing? 6 minutes. It looks
I hope
nice.
it's someone just saying duel in the background for 6 minutes.
I'm not going to lie to you. It definitely looks nice. No, I don't know what the fuck this is. This may not be what I'm talking about, yeah. Is that it? Are we done?
I think that was it.
Yeah.
That was the
wow.
list that was a lot of dragons.
It was.
A lot of dragons.
And there's a lot more, by the way, like a gajillion more.
Yeah, and half of the gajillion are just in Fairy Tail alone.
I'd like to see, what is the first dragon ever?
In anime?
In media.
Oh, in media. I mean,
does that count like writing and
media.
art? And...
Are you talking like, Chinese scrolls and...
The first dragon myth appears in the Sumerian legends of the god mother Tiamat, who transforms herself into a legged horned serpent, and of the snake Zu, who steals the law tablets. 2700 BC. I'm just saying that like dragons have been around for like 5,000 years because we think they're fucking cool. That's pretty much the reason. Does anybody here not think dragons are cool?
I think they suck.
Bullshit.
It's like
Call
no,
cap on that.
Okay, are you ready for our trivia question for today?
I think so. Thank you, Lady Emery, for the topic. But yeah, go for it.
Yes, because we were struggling to think of one. So, Okay, here we go. In the show Delicious in Dungeon, what two animals make up the basilisk? And we'll give you the answer after the news break.
Hey, Anime Addicts, Mitsuki is here, bringing you your anime news break. And this week we have more zombie animes coming out. Zombie no Afureta Sekai de Ore ga Dake o Sowarenai, or am I the only one that's not being attacked by zombies? The light novel is being made into a TV anime. It's going to air on the ATX TV station in Japan. The third volume of the light novel went on sale in March of 2017, so it's been quite a while. Yusuke is an office worker with a dislike for people, preferring to do his job alone in silence, and when the company he works for suddenly goes bankrupt, he loses his job, blah, blah, blah. But then one day, one of the rare days he decides to leave his apartment after a long week of gaming, a man attacks him and bites his arm. He escapes, but he comes down with a fever and becomes bedridden, which we all know what that means when you're in a zombie show, so we'll have to look out for that coming up. Maybe this year, we'll have to see. Next up, the Jobless Reincarnation 2, Season 2, Part 2 has had some staff and some stuff revealed. So the director is going to be Ryosuke Shibuya of some anime that I'm not going to bother reading because it's just too damn long. Also, the chief animation director is Kota Seda of Shield Hero. And Shinobu Isoko is going to be doing animation directing, worked on Vinland Saga Season 2, etc. So the new staff have been noted, and it is still going to be Studio Bind that's going to be doing the animation, but look out for more of Jobless Reincarnation. Looks like it will be coming out, and in my opinion, the last installment was pretty damn good. Next up, 2 foreigners are arrested in Japan for posting Shonen Jump manga online before publication. We all know that Japan's pretty strict about piracy, and the police arrested 2 foreign nationals for doing this, and it looks like the 2 suspects, one of whom is 36 years old, is definitely going to be busted. According to police, the 2 suspects posted images from Weekly Shonen Jump's mangas to others without the permission, etc., etc. The 2 are suspected of violating Japan's Copyright Act by photographing and copying images of magazines in the prior month. So they don't say what the actual fine or jail time will be, but they do arrest a lot of people in Japan. Of course, you'll probably recall that in 2017, police arrested 3 people for uploading One Piece mangas from Weekly Shonen Jump, so this is not the first time this has happened. Next up, the Gundam Seed Freedom film is doing quite well in Japan. It has sold 1.8 billion yen in tickets in just 9 days, or $12 million. This announcement, of course, came from the theater companies that are showing the film. The film sold 634,000 tickets. So in its first 3 days, it's a pretty big deal. So it looks like the franchise's previous opening weekend record was Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway, which sold about almost $5 million in that first 3 days. So this has actually smashed that record. So Gundam Seed Freedom, big time sales in Japan. Maybe it'll come out in the States, and then we'll get to follow it as well. This was Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. And now time to get back to the podcast. Oh God, I hate this song. It's so annoying. Skip ad. Skip.
Hi, it's Vince with
Oh,
Sham
fuck
Wow.
no.
You'll be saying wow.
I'll be
every
saying,
time you use this
wow, you're
towel.
so fucking
It's
annoying.
Like a chamois.
It's a
like
chamois, it's a
but
towel.
it's
Who
a
really
liquid towel
cares?
doesn't work
Skip. Anime Addicts, do you miss ads like that? Do you miss your buddy Vince from ShamWow? Of course you don't, because we don't torture you with ads like that. Instead, if you want to support the podcast, you can help us stay ad-free by going to aapodcast.com/join. Hey, you can head over to patreon.com/AAApodcast for those of you that like Patreon. And you're going to get our hentai episodes, our hobby addicts, our after parties, And, of course, it's going to be commercial-free, so you get all that. What else could you possibly want? Again, over at aapodcast.com/join. Let's start the podcast. Welcome back to the podcast. We got a trivia question. In the show Delicious in Dungeon, what two animals make up the basilisk? Apparently it's a chicken and a snake, but I didn't watch that.
I did not know that. Is that like is that like a mythological fact?
No.
A basilisk is made up of different things. So depending on the text, it'll have different mixes and stuff. But it's not too
basically
uncommon.
Snake. Big snake. That's all.
Yeah, it's
Big
like a
bada boom.
cockatrice and some sort of lizard. Yeah, it's usually that.
Big bada boom.
It's mostly a big chicken.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the sprinkling of chicken in there made it to blow up to a massive proportions.
It's 90% chicken, little snake tail.
Corbin
But it's
Dallas,
just like
multi-pass.
7 times the size of normal chicken? I don't know.
Anyway, it's time for the mailbag.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag, bag. And if you want to leave a mailbag, aapodcast.com/mailbag. Believe it or not, believe it. I still have that on here. I fucking should. I don't. Wow.
Leave it.
Oh wow, was that the drop or was that
me.
you? That's so.
That was
lifelike.
The champion of Naruto trivia. Of course, it's lifelike.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, she took.
Yeah, what can I say? But getting that title has upgraded my Naruto impressions.
She literally snatched victory from the jaws of defeat in that event. So.
Miley
wow,
Flanagan, I'm coming for you.
There we go. All right, so this mailbag is from Damon. Hey, Addicts, just wanted to say I love your show. You guys have such a great chemistry, and the differing opinions keep things fresh. Just wanted to say, due to episode 667, I went out and bought a Gunpla kit. Wow. And I am obsessed with mecha now due to you guys. Even if you didn't like the show that much. Writing in from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Wow. That's pretty cool. Well, I'm going to be moving to Tennessee sometime this year, probably in the summer, and there were some pretty awesome anime figure stores in Tennessee, and I definitely saw one that had hundreds of Gunpla figures, and even the easy to build ones, because I honestly can't. I can't glue and paint all that shit. I don't have the patience or the artistry for it, but I mean, apparently they make these Gundam kits, as Mason shows his RX-78.
This one takes like 4 minutes to build.
4 minutes. I wanted to take a little longer than 4 minutes.
Even better than the Gunplas.
What?
They're a 30-minute sister.
Oh, 30-minute sister, yes. And
what is that?
30-minute sister is a thing. They're like girls that you can dress up in different outfits and change their faces and stuff. I don't know. I guess it's called 30-minute sister because you can build them in 30 minutes. But I will tell you, it's
like Betty Spaghetti.
Betty Spaghetti. The fuck is that?
I think you can. It's like a toy.
Why don't you just go on Google and Google 30-minute sister? You don't need to go get your 30-minute sister off your desk. Oh, she's going back down to play Final Fantasy VII, bitch. Fuck off. That's what she just said.
Listen, you might not need to know what games Konami has or hasn't made, but if you're going to tell me Betty Spaghetti podcast, I'm going to laugh.
I think
I don't even know if you can like change the faces of the Betty Spaghetti dolls. I just thought about it. I was like, I'm sure there are girl dolls that just change how they look like that. Like just like oh no, it's a Mr. Potato Head. That is the comparison.
All right, that's about it. But thanks for writing your mailbag. Gunpla is cool, and now that they look cool with that much effort, they're even better. So now even morons like me can do it. So
yeah, Gunpla is rad. Even as someone who does not enjoy the act of watching Gundam, like you give me a Gundam kit, make something, I'm gonna be excited. It's just cool Legos. So heck yeah, sign me up.
I mean, as a person who has spent the last year doing one paint by numbers, I don't think I would be all that interested in Gunpla.
I have a world record. I'm a co-owner of a world record for Gunplas. So I gotta respect it.
Mm.
all right, is it time for impressions?
It is.
Today,
It is. Let's do
we're
it.
gonna be doing impressions.
Impression time, believe it.
All right.
The final week. Last chance to make a cut. So the way it works, we are going to pass 6 shows by the end of this week. Actually, by like 30 minutes from now. And so far, we have passed Gushing Over Magical Girls, A Sign of Affection, Buchi Girl, aka Buchigiri, and Solo Leveling. So we have 2 shows left to pass. After we do that, and we have our 6 shows, all the other shows from winter 2024 is going to go in a big Google spreadsheet thing. And we're going to take those and we're going to put them into a form and we're going to send out a link. And you, listener, get a chance to pick out what 3 shows we're also going to review on top of those 6, bringing a total to 9. And then we will review those shows in the future. Hopefully.
Worried about the quality.
You heard the man.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
So that's how it works. Welcome to the system if you've never done it before. And let's kick it off, I guess.
And can I just say that I made the poll before the show today for listener choice, and I have to click into the link and get the English title, and it's just like one show with a 6 point something out of 10 after another. Like it could just
Another
be me.
Another mid.
Mid. If it's in the 6s, that shit's bad. Like I'm just like, this is a oh man, I don't know. I'm just I guess that's just my way of saying that I feel like this anime season is very bad, and I'm just going to.
You would not be wrong.
A retro option for us to just pick one that's good, not from the season.
I did not, but there are. Let me just say, there is one, two. There's one. Basically, 2 shows better than an 8 out of 10 that aren't a sequel from this season, so that's not good. And those are Yubisaki to Renren, which we already passed, so you can't pick that one, and Dangers in My Heart, season 2. So, which has a smoldering 8.7. Really, I highly doubt that. Anyway. Who is next?
Good news is that 7th Loop might win the poll because it is like at a 7.87, leading Mid-Wars. Hell yeah, I chose that. So I'm starting off high.
Fitting that it's a 7.7.
All right. Well, in that case, yeah, repeated.
7 loop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we're gonna win fabulous prizes in the Mid-Wars, I think, Caroline. So.
Well, only one of us will.
What do you mean? I picked 7th
They
Loop.
both picked.
But the winner, like that, I think there's like a gift card as a prize. And only one of us will win the gift card. I won the gift card last time I won.
All right. Well, why don't you give us your first impression, or whoever the hell's first?
Yeah, so I will go first with Sengoku Youko. This is done by White Fox. This is based on a manga, and it is on Crunchyroll. And this is kind of just a big shonen fighting series where the world is divided into humans and monsters, and there's this duo, this monster who loves humans and tries her best to make them all peace and love and be a good person and protect them from monsters. And then there's a human side who fuses with the monster to become even more of a monster and fights people. And then they go around, they boop around the countryside, and they fight monsters. And it's pretty cool. So this is based on the same mangaka who did Planet With and Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, which was a surprisingly awful adaptation. The guy's name is Satoshi Mizukami. Has a very unique way of approaching tropes and has just a voice that is kind of unique in the world. But right off the bat, definitely visuals are certainly leagues better than what we got with Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. It's definitely a much better adaptation. And it's kind of just a standard superpowered fighting shonen of the Eiroku period, which is like the 1500s. And the most notable thing is that the monster designs are just kind of more unique. They're just odd in a way, with goofy hands coming out of people's foreheads.
What?
And just monsters that are just mostly an eye with a couple legs. So
sounds so painful.
A biblically accurate angel,
yeah,
apparently.
biblically, pretty much. They're goofy. It lends it a bit of charm. And the visuals try their best to aid with some of the comedic moments, but those are kind of negated for me with the painful comedy music that anime sometimes puts over stuff that really is like, oh, we gotta let you know this is a wacky scene, so we gotta play boop, 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 like stuff.
Yeah.
That always never plays well with my palate. I get it. It's a shonen. It's how it works, but I don't know. It irks me. I just found that the comedy, for the most part, even without the gaudy music, just had weird timing as the show as a whole. The editing decisions, there's just a bit of jankiness to it that isn't severe, but it's enough to get under my skin. At the end of the day, overall, this is better than expected. Good for fans of Mizukami. If you're fans of like Inuyasha adjacent type shows, go for it. There is stuff to like here. That said, this is going to be like 37 episodes long. This is a 3-core show.
Wow.
And I feel like we've already kind of experienced shows like this before. And after watching 2 or 3 episodes, it just doesn't have a spark that excites me to watch more of it, let alone 30 some episodes. So even if you are a listener and you're like, oh my goodness, I love the show. This is so good. It's so much fun. Great. Enjoy it. You can vote for it in listener's choice. I just will warn you now, if this does get passed, we probably won't watch the entire thing. We might just find what a good stopping point is around the core and go there. Because I love anime. I do. I really do, despite what my words seem to indicate. We don't have time to watch the 3 cores of the show for a review. So there you go. Enjoy it. That's is what it is. But I'm going to give it a pretty light fail. It's fine, but not for us. So there you go. Sengoku Youko. And there we go.
Bye-bye. TTFN, ta-ta now. All right, who's next?
I'll go if you don't want to.
Something I don't want to go. It's ladies first.
Okay. And that's why Mason went first, technically.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Nobody laughed at that. Boo. Okay. So. I only have that. You should play just crickets. Cricket sound. Yeah, so I have 2 shows to impress upon today. But you already know the answer to whether or not they will pass because I've already used up my 2 passes. So let's talk about Gekkai Elise, otherwise known as Dr. Elise, the royal lady with the lamp. Now, I'll just say right now, have not encountered the titular lamp. So it's just Elise. I don't know what this lamp is, but...
Yeah, you said it.
Anyway. Yeah,
I watched Beavis and Butthead on Paramount the other day. They would definitely have not let that pass.
Oh, I know. I was thinking about it as I was saying it. Like, he's going to say something about this. Okay. So Elise was once the ill-mannered wife of the emperor, but her jealousy and greed had led to the loss of her loved ones, as well as her death. But she was reincarnated into the new world, where she vowed to save lives as a surgeon. She became one of the best surgeons in the world, but after a fatal plane crash, Elise finds herself once again in her former body. With the previous knowledge of modern medicine and now a chance at mending her mistakes, she is determined to contribute to the Empire as a medic in this life. But will Elise be able to avoid her engagement to the prince, whom she had loved to the point of her own demise? This is based off a web novel. And the show starts off with Elise being burned at the stake by her husband, by the order of him. So it's not starting off well for her. Now it flashes forward to her living her new life as this genius surgeon where people are like kissing the ground she walks on. Like they admire her so much and her skills and everything. And she gets on a plane to do some life-saving surgery in another country when it crashes. And she gets up and she attends to everyone on the plane and she says that everyone survives this plane crash, which I highly doubt. But anyway, once she's done helping everyone on the plane, help arrives, and it's only then that she notices that she is wounded, and she collapses and dies again. She then reawakens in the body of Elise, and in the eyes of her family, she starts acting really strangely, because right before this, she was ungrateful and rude and unpleasant, but now she's professing her love of them and, apologizing and, being a nicer person. And she starts talking about ending her engagement with the prince and to start learning medicine. And despite her previously bad attitude, the current emperor is very fond of Elise and tells her that she can end her engagement, but only if she succeeds in her medical training. So if she doesn't, the marriage will continue. So I'm still kind of feeling out this show. The seventh Loop show this season is similar in many ways, but I personally feel more interested in that one than this one. I feel like Elise is a fine protagonist, and I was actually a little bit interested in her life as a doctor. But here's one thing that just bugged me, was just her constant insistence that, I will save this person. I will save everyone. And apparently, it's said in the show that she has never failed a surgery. Never. That is literally impossible for any good surgeon. Every good surgeon has had patients that they could not save. That is just how it is. So, instantly ridiculous. It's a very small part of the show, but that grinds my gears, so to speak. As a person that enjoys watching a medical drama here and there.
How old is this person?
She's not that old.
She looks 16, design, so I'm just asking.
Her character design, they never specifically say how old she is, but she has got to be in her 20s, early 30s.
She don't look she don't look like she's in her 30s.
Is this in her doctor form or in Elise form?
I don't know. What is she?
The one with the blonde hair is Elise. The one with the brown hair is the surgeon that she is in a different life.
Does she just transform?
She has a totally different character design.
Like Full Moon Osagashite style?
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so.
Full Moon yeah, it's fine. I don't know.
I'm still going to give this a couple more episodes because I've only really watched 2. But I know it's not really going to measure up to my other passes, so I already knew I was going to fail
it. Big whiffa. All right. I guess I will go next. I am going to do an impression on the instant classic Mato Seihei no Slave, a.k.a. Chained Soldier. Instant classic.
Sounds like it.
Yep. So this is definitely one of the more frequently watched shows of the season. I don't know. I just think people are just shocked by it, honestly. Let's see. Where does it rank? Yeah, 6th. Yeah. And we got a sequel, 2 sequels, 3 sequels. It's the 3rd most watched non-sequel. So, behind Dungeon Meshi and Solo Leveling. So, anyway, Chained Soldier is this anime about this kid named Yuki, which is the most, whatever. They give these characters intentionally bland names and designs because they want you to self-insert. So, Yuki is a high schooler, and then he gets sent to a demon world, I guess. And in this demon world, there is a girl named, what is her fucking name? Kyoka. So there's this group of female women who fight against these demons. They're the anti-demon corp, and it's all female. And because of them, men are at the bottom of society. in this anime because the female women or whatever, as they put it, are able to fight the demons. So what happens is that when he ends up in this demon world, he basically is able to transform into a monster to help the girls fight. So they can all utilize him, it seems like. And he becomes their slave in doing so. And I'm trying to remember, like, I think the first girl like rides around on him and he's just like fucking shit up. But then the real reason why people watch this anime is not because of anything that I've said at the moment. It is because after they utilize him for battle, he's like this spindly little piece of shit. I don't know why he would even be like a question as useful in combat, but they have to repay him somehow. And of course, how do they repay him? But with sexual gratification, of course. I think I recall in the first episode, she like lets him lick her feet or something. I can't remember exactly, but it's just bizarre shit. Second episode, a girl named Shushu, who's probably the most fun of the three girls, is like able to make herself huge. So her power is she can like increase her size of like 1,000-fold, so she can become like the size of a, Godzilla or whatever. Still requires his help for combat. It's just the same thing every episode. Basically, like, there's a girl, there's monsters, they need his power, he transforms, and, essentially, they fight together, and then at the end, they have to reward him, but it's not with food or money or a hug. It's mostly like, I'm going to let you bathe with me naked, or I'm going to stomp on your nuts and you'll love it, or, it's self-explanatory. I mean, men are at the bottom of society, and this is an anime that is essentially for the people who also like those hentai pictures where the girls are sticking their feet in the foreground of the shot because you're supposed to like lick their toes and worship them. That is exactly what this is, because every episode, even though he's being rewarded, he is incredibly subservient. So there's an obvious, S&M type relationship happening here between the boy and the girls, and he's always the S. So he's always, he's always the sub. He's licking toes or begging to have his nuts stomped on, or I'll do anything for a glimpse of your décolletage or whatever it is. Ultimately, like that's exactly what this. That's exactly what this. That's what this show is. And I watched my 3 episodes of it, and to be honest with you, it was just not especially interesting. And the reason for that is because compared to a show like Gushing Over Magical Girls, this show doesn't even come close. I mean, Caroline didn't see this episode, but I watched episode 4, or maybe it was 5, of Gushing Over Magical Girls, and they are straight up having sex now. Like, it's not even close. God. It's not even like remotely close to what was in episode 1. As I recall, in episode 4, I think, like, it was straight up. It's just escalating every episode in that show, and this show, it just seems PG compared to that one. And there's really no other reason to watch this except for the, let me worship your feet or whatever the fuck. And that's fine if you're into that. Like, I don't care. I'm not really into that. And frankly, I'd rather just watch hentai. There's lots of hentai where there's fight scenes. I mean, someone on Melancholy Price mentioned Dragon Pink. Well, guess what? They fight in Dragon Pink too, and then they have sex. And if you just want to watch people fight and have sex, there's like a billion hentai for that. Like, I don't really see the point of Chained Soldier, to be honest with you. And just like the other hentai that I've complained about, it has unbelievably poorly drawn female like anatomy. Their like breasts are just like, please go study Studio T-Rex and just learn how to draw breasts, because like people are watching these shows to see breasts, and High Dive and Crunchyroll now are just like giddy up, like we're just gonna have sex on our channel, but like there's just nothing sexy about how these characters are drawn, and it seems weird to like ding a show because the sexy bits aren't drawn well, but it's like, what other fucking reason are you there for? You're literally watching it to see their breasts, and it just seems like all the studios are somehow getting away with showing nudity by drawing it really poorly. And so, it was once said that hentai nipples are peak, and these are not. So I don't know what kind of drop I could play for this, but if you want to watch a show where a guy transforms and acts subservient to women with very PG-13 like sexual content, go for it. But if you want something a little more than that, I would just stick with like your gushing over magical girl or just go watch a hentai.
How about new?
So that's not going to pass, obviously. Okay, and that's just me laying down the facts because it's rated R, but honestly, I don't really think so at this point. All right, who's up?
That would be. That's how it be. Oh boy, what show do I talk about?
Pick your poison.
I think I have to talk about Dungeon Meshi next. This is done by Studio Trigger, their first in Cyberpunk Edge Runners, one of my favorite shows of 2022. This is based on a well-beloved manga, and it is on Netflix, which is awesome. A lot of hype going into this one. A lot of people are watching it. A lot of people are enjoying Dungeon Meshi. And it tells the story in a very D&D-esque styling of this adventurer louse and his company going through the dungeons. They're beating up stuff. They're having a grand old time. And then a big old dragon, top 10 dragon in anime perhaps, eats his whole party, wipes them. Boop, boop, boop. Sad news. They have to flee. They get to the top of the dungeon. And they have none of their money, none of their supplies. They all got eaten. Like, all their party members are currently being digested, as Mitz holds up an adorable dragon, Kigurumi-esque creature plushy thing. And, yeah, they're like, oh, we got to go back down and, reach our party members before they finish getting digested by this dragon. We need to get back in there, and we need to save them, but we have no supplies, we have no money. What are we going to do for food? And this adventurer guy, he's like, what if we just eat the dragons on our way down? What if we use them for nutrients? I mean, they're creatures. They have meat. Why can't we eat them? Everyone's like, oh, no, that's gross. That's disgusting. But we don't have another choice. So that's their thing. It's essentially a dungeon crawling show, but also a cooking lesson thing because they defeat these monsters and then eat them and prepare them in various ways. Kind of like a Drifting Dragons meets... not even Food Wars, because it's not even that kind of thing. But yeah, it's defeat the monsters, eat the monsters, be like, oh, this is so tasty. That's the show. That's the setup. And each episode they meet new monsters and eat and prepare them in new ways. So there you go. And my impression is that it's pretty bland. It's not very engaging. It's very pretty. It is so well done visually, but it's also pretty dull. And I have a hard time describing why I don't dislike it, or why I do dislike it, because I think fundamentally it's a good show, and I'm confident that A, the show will get better as we get more into the characters and the world and all that stuff, and B, I do think this will be passed by the listeners, because C, I am going to fail the show, because I just, at this moment, right now, the show is not doing it for me. And whether it's the fact that they're like, oh, we got to get down and save our party, we got to save everyone, and then they just slowly mosey through every room with no sense of urgency. And I get it. They're like, oh, the dragon, it takes like a month to digest them. They're still moving with no sense of urgency that the scene kind of entails. This dude gets poisoned. He gets like stung by this monster in episode 2. They're like, oh, we need to give him the antidote. So let's like slowly roast an entire chicken and methodically like season it, pepper it, flip it over. And you're like, just get to the point. Just
Bop
the
it.
guy's dying.
Twist
And
it.
I get it's yeah, exactly.
Whoop, pull it.
Pull it. Whoop, pass it.
Cook
I don't
it.
know. It
Flip
just
it.
feels like it's tonally inconsistent. And I do like the show's novel idea of we have these monsters. How do we eat them? This is a new thing. No one's ever done this. But the guy's like, okay, let's eat monsters. And everyone's like, oh, wow, that's so weird. And he's like, okay, I have a book that tells me how to do it. They immediately meet someone who does it all the time. They're like, let's look for eggs. They find them the next scene. And then this guy that they find who prepares them, it's like a TV cooking show where they're like, okay, we skinned this creature and we have to dry age the meat. But luckily, I already have some of that prepared, ready to go. And it just takes some of the magic out of it because it's so artificial. And the show does things really well. Like in episode 2 or 3, they use like the traps as mechanisms to cook supplies. Like they're looking for something to like cook the meat in, and they're like, this trap sets off burning hot oil into our faces. So let's actually use that burning hot oil, which is like vegetable oil or olive oil, I think it is, to fry the meat. Like, that's really clever. But it's upended by characters that I find, frankly, to be really irritating. I think they'll get better. I think they'll be fine, but just most of the characters just don't jive with me. And this is 24 episodes, which once again, I'm not saying long show bad.
No, I am.
But I know you are. And
all at once, at least. Can we please at least do 12 and then
yeah, we probably could do 12 because that'll get to the point. I think the show is getting better. Like I said, the visual acumen is quite good. A lot of the scenes are really well thought of. The world's really well thought of. Of course, there are a bunch of continuity errors that really irk me. Like a character is like shimming down a rope and then falls and lands in a completely different position and orientation than all the characters were just standing. Like, it has
carelessly
potential,
done.
But it just... The world is really well considered, but so is like reading a manual on how to assemble a bookshelf. I see how it works and I can appreciate it, but it's also kind of boring. So I think this is one of the better shows this season. I think this will be passed. I think there is things to like about the show, without question. But I'm making a stand. This is not 5D chess. I just want to say that I don't like Dungeon Meshi very much. And I look forward to watching it in 20 weeks or whatever. So I will be failing Dungeon Meshi, unfortunately, despite not having many other good shows to pass in its stead. So I'm sorry, but we're doing it.
You know, I was surrounded by the suck.
Yikes.
It's a fine show. I'm just being a hater.
Oh, well. That's fine. Hate all you want, friend.
Yeah.
I
just wish I had a better show to pass instead, but we'll get to that. Go ahead, Mitz, or whoever goes next.
I'm working on something over here if someone else wants to go.
All right, so I'll go then. So the last one that I will be doing an impression for is The Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil. So here's the synopsis. Akutsu Masatora is a demon who has infiltrated a high school in the human world. His goal is to find candidates to aid Hell in the fight against their natural enemies, the Angels of Heaven. Akutsu falls prey to the beauty of his seatmate Lilia Mane and decides to recruit her to his cause. But there's more to Lily than meets the eye. Akutsu not only finds himself an accomplice to one of the very enemies that he's supposed to defeat, but he also might have developed feelings for her.
Oh my god.
Okay, so here's the deal. Demon boy, Akutsu, introduced on his first day of school. And already the show gets weird. And here's why. He suddenly takes off a wig and reveals to the whole class that he's actually bald. I don't know why, really. They act as if it's some sort of tactic. It's some sort of tactic to like get sympathy from classmates and to build a rapport from them. But he's not actually bald. This is all like he actually has hair. He's just wearing a bald cap or use magic to remove his hair or whatever. But he grows back his hair, so it's not really funny. It's just weird and out of nowhere, and I don't understand why they did this. Because if a guy did that in my class, there would be no way we would sympathize and build a rapport with them. We would probably make fun of them. And I'm not a bully, but I would still make fun of them. It was just so weird. No offense, Mitz. You rock it. You rock.
It's big dick energy is all I keep hearing about it. Men that shave their head are confident. It's when you got that horseshoe around your head that you look like a...
But he's acting like he has some sort of disease that he has a bald head, and
that's not BDE.
Yeah. Anyway, so he notices the most beautiful girl in the classroom and thinks this girl is definitely gonna bring up the morale of the demons in the war against the angels. But he's also catching feelings for her too. So later on, he saves her from getting hit by Truck Kun, and he reveals to her that he's a demon, kind of like in Twilight. But she reveals that she's an angel, and she's also pretty sadistic. She is a pretty character in that she is hot in that she looks like a child.
That was the most roundabout answer.
I know, I was just trying to think of how to word it. I did not word it correctly. So
No, we got it.
yeah, she's pretty, but she's also like a lolly. So
So
that's
she's
it.
not hot. Okay, got it.
She's pretty. So after like she beats him up and she puts a chain around him, she gets him to like agree to hunt down other demons, which is he's kind of turning back on his kind here. Not sure what to think of that. So the first episode is giving Devil's a part-timer vibes. The next episode feels a bit like Love is War, because the two of them are trying to get the other to fall for them, and it gets under both of their skins because they actually are a little bit attracted to each other. So yeah, they just do all these different tropes that makes you kind of swoon for a person. It's a little funny. Yeah, I'm also not sure why the title is The Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil, because the demon seems like the foolish one in this situation. She's definitely like the one that's a step ahead of him for the most part, so I'm not really certain why they titled it this way. And it also appears that the angels are the bad guys in this war, and even Lily has an unpleasant backstory with the angels, which is propelling her, I would say it's pretty zealous hunt for the demons. Lily is shown to like hurting the demons, but maybe this will change in this relationship with Akutsu because it seems like they will have some sort of, romance of some sort. Yeah, so I did not like the first episode. It was not good. I will say I enjoyed the second and third episode much more. So if you dropped it after the first episode, maybe give the second episode a try because you might end up giving it a little bit more of a chance than you would have the first episode. I might give it a couple more episodes myself. The humor is iffy, but I don't know. There's something interesting going on with it. It's also pretty suggestible if you're into that. They make a lot of, euphemisms for sex and all that.
Innuendos.
Yeah, innuendos. Yeah. And I'm also not sure if Lily's going to get more likable. If she doesn't, I'm probably not going to continue it, but we'll see. That being said, I will fail it.
That is one big pile of shit.
Yep. Jeff Goldblum, he
that
knows
was
best.
My last one.
Am I the last
Caroline
impression?
is complete. Yeah,
Yep,
she just
all
finished
done.
up.
Wow, and I just updated the website. So, look at me. Okay, I am up. I guess this is my last impression, and I have one pass left. So, will I use it here, or will I do a listener choice, or will I do a retro, or who the fuck really knows?
Will you save Delicious and Dungeon? And let's find out.
Yeah, it's not very likely I want to save a 24-episode anime. I thought that thing was supposed to be so good. Like, I recall Mandy just, like, sucked that anime off, like, many times. The manga was like, oh my god, Dungeon
like this
Meshi!
show. A lot of people like the manga. It just wasn't for me. I didn't even jive with the manga, so it's no surprise that I didn't jive with the show. But it's a fine show.
All right. All right. The wrong way to use healing magic. This anime is... Some people are liking this, and it's got a decent rating online. I don't know. It's got a fair amount of people watching it. It's one of the most watched shows of the season also, but Ken Usato is a high schooler that gets isekai'd. He gets summoned, so he doesn't get hit by a car or anything. And his friends get summoned too. And he like makes friends, and no one likes him. And then he makes friends, and then they get summoned right away. And one of them is the president of the school. One of them is the vice president. It doesn't really matter. It's such. By the way, like this, whenever you see like these high schoolers that are like, "Oh, I'm the class president," or "I'm president of the student council," like that's the most pretentious shit ever. Like no one gives a. Honestly, in real life, nobody really gives a fuck. Like you have no authority whatsoever. I'm sure in these schools. So he gets summoned into this other world, and it's very much like a lot of the other shows. My willingness to pass this or not might depend on the comments on the Twitch, just saying. So if you have comments, if I see overwhelming fail, I might fail this. If I see overwhelming pass, I might pass it. But I will not be telling you what I will put in its place if I do fail it, so just knowing. And I will let Mason or Caroline look at the Twitch because I can't do two things at once. But
we're on it.
So he gets summoned, and it's very much like your normal isekai where there's like a king, and he literally is like, oh, I need help, like the kingdom, the demons, blah, blah. I needed to summon the hero. So they they summon him, and the king is super weak, and he's practically willing to just like abject the throne to these people that he summoned. And they do like a ritual where they figure out what kind of magic these people have. And the main character has, I think his color was green, and they're like, ooh, don't say anything. It's green. Like, it's very, and because green is healing magic, and it's like super rare. And so they know that if they reveal this to people, then like all these other people are going to come in and they're going to want to use them and, distract them from what the reason they were summoned from or whatever. So, however, he gets scooped up by this girl named Rouge, who is the leader of the kingdom's rescue team. She also uses healing magic, but she's also a super good fighter and used to be the captain of the Knights and all this bullshit. And she realizes that he is pretty weak because he's just like this kid that gets summoned and he doesn't know shit. And so she takes him to like this jungle area and literally throws him off a cliff into the dungeon, or into the jungle, into the forest. It is definitely a friendlier forest than the one I described throughout the podcast, by the way. It's not even close. And he would not have survived. I mean, let's just be honest. But those monsters wouldn't want him anyway. They would have just killed him. They wouldn't have kept him alive because he's, Anyway, so... And he's just basically trial by fire trying to learn how to survive. He's supposed to kill like a giant grizzly bear or whatever. And then part of the way through that episode, the grizzly bear ends up getting killed by another monster that's way stronger, and it's like this giant snake demon thing, and he's very hard to kill because like when he's fighting, he can literally just get like chomped on, and he's just like healing himself as he's fighting, ultimately he's being trained for a greater purpose. I'm not sure what that is yet. I think there's like a war coming because I watched part of episode 4, and then I ultimately decided I didn't need to because I was just going to wait and see what the Twitch said. And that said, is the Twitch leaning pass or fail?
Well, a little bit of both. We got some people saying pass. We got some people saying, like, if you pass this, you're going to hate yourself for it. We have some people who have bets writing on this pass, so are not sharing their opinion to not disturb the waters and mess that up. Yeah, some people just abstaining, not watching the show to know any better. So it's a pretty mixed bag.
All right. Well, I did glance a couple times, and I think that I saw more people said pass than fail that I saw. So I will probably pass this. It's short. It's easy to watch. It's not horrible. It has a cute bear in it because the bear...
Yay!
The bear he was supposed... It's not an obnoxious fucking talking bear, and it doesn't fly. It's not a bear you unzip and get inside of. It's just a fucking bear, okay? A little blue bear. And the bear is the cub of the bear that he was supposed to kill, but never got to. And then I think the bear is like his friend now. And looking at the characters, it's got a cute Kakarot character in it. It's got some evil-looking villains, a Black Knight. I think there's more to this story than we're getting right now. The opening is pretty cool. So I guess I'll pass it. I mean, it's not amazing. Like, it's not Jobless Reincarnation or something like that, but it's also not horrific. And a 7.6 on my anime list is probably one of the better shows of the season, honestly, to be fair. So this one will pass, and now you can rejoice or feel sad or whatever the fuck.
Yes. Now this.
Plus, I already put all this shit up on the website for it, so that way I don't have to. That was the
number one reason.
Yeah, I could easily have just said, "Let's go watch Riding Bean," but to be fair, no one cares. Like, honestly, like people watching anime now, unless they're old like me, like they're not gonna go watch Riding Bean. They're not gonna go find it. They're not gonna go out of their way to get it. They don't give a fuck.
If we make it sound interesting, they might.
Riding Bean is fucking awesome, but like honestly, come on, no, people just don't. There's too much new stuff coming out. There's too many video games to play. Too much TikTok. Too much Instagram. Too much work. Too much, people are too distracted to go back and watch an anime from like 1992 or whatever. It's just not gonna happen. So we would review it. It would be better than this one probably, but in the end, people would just be listening to us talk about something, and then they wouldn't go watch it anyway. So, all right, that's the last pass of the season, which leaves us with Gushing Over Magical Girls, A Sign of Affection.
Up.
We're not done yet.
Oh, we're not
We
done?
got one left.
Oh, we're not done.
We skipped around.
I lied. We're not done.
It's okay.
Continue.
Sorry to
Whoever's
interrupt.
next, continue.
The last show of the season, last pass of the season, is going to be Metallic Rouge. And I know some people are going to say, oh, Mason, you think that show is better than Dungeon Meshi? No. But I am going to pass it nonetheless. So this is done by Studio Bones. This is actually their 25th anniversary celebration show. It's an original, and it's on Crunchyroll. And it takes place on Mars, where this android girl named Rouge is out on a mission to murder 9 artificial humans who are up to no good. And this show feels like an amalgamation of design elements from shows from the past couple years. The character, the plot, the atmosphere. It's very intergalactically cyberpunkian in a way, which sounds awesome, but it's really not giving us any new ideas, which is frustrating because the production of this show, from the super fun fight scenes with awesome battle music, these like super suit tokusatsu kind of things actually look and move far better than I expected. And just a lot of the production across the board is really good, but there's really not any ideas going on. Similar to how Mitch just said, like, it's a fine show, but it's not showing its hand yet. I don't know if this is a show that is going to get good when all the pieces lock into place, or if it's just going to be a big flop of it actually never going anywhere remarkable. But I'm hopeful because I think there are some good ideas in how the show is being delivered. For example, most of these initial episodes, which are kind of episodic, begin with a snazzy, though some might say dizzying, structure of character introductions where they jump across a bunch of different people really quickly and kind of introduce all the characters at play in this little like mini chessboard simultaneously, and it kind of forces you, the viewer, to kind of engage with it and put things together as they go, and it's kind of intriguing. But on the flip side of that is it leads to these situations where all the characters are super flat and get not fleshed out at all. So when these big emotional character moments are supposed to be happening, they just feel bungled, and you're just like, well, why would I care about that? I know we had a whole Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 argument about, like, you know, why do I care about this character going through this event? Imagine if there wasn't any Season 1 at all, though. You just see this character fight and lose, and you're like, okay.
Sounds awesome.
Why do I care? Like, the writing is just not delivering to the same level that everything else in the show is. So I'm hoping it gets there, because currently it's a little bit underwhelming, honestly. But I don't have a lot of great shows to go on, and there might be something there at the end. So I'm just a silly monkey. I see pretty colors, I hear fun soundtracks, and I'm like, okay, I could watch this. And I hope by the end we get something with promise, because right now this show and kind of this season is not delivering it. So here's to holding out hope. I will be passing Metallic Rouge despite my massive reservations about it.
How exciting.
Yeah, once again, I wish I could be failing Dungeon Meshi for something better, but this is the world we live in. That's what listener choice is for. Put it on the map.
I've never been this excited. You're excited. Feel these nipples.
Oh,
there's just so much potential here, and I want it to be not so bad.
Oh, womp womp.
Womp womp.
All right, so now we're done.
Now we're done. I'm sorry.
We have passed 6 anime: Gushing Over Magical Girls, A Sign of Affection, Buchigiri, Solo Leveling, Metallic Rouge, I don't know, whatever the fuck, and The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. And because I am insanely impatient, I will probably put the listener choice up tonight. So, whatever. Honestly, I got the poll all ready to go for you. So, and I don't know. Does anybody want to toss out a quick prediction about what anime will win listener choice?
Danger Season 2, Dungeon Meshi, and What else is this season? Oh, I should mention, I did watch a little bit of Braverin. It's kind of silly, stupid fun, but I don't think it'll win. What else was? I don't think Chain
Seventh
Soldier.
Loop might, based on the reaction of people in our Discord.
Kingdom just continues to have insanely good scores online. I don't know. This fucking anime is obviously awesome, and we are all sorely missing it in our repertoire. New seasons.
Well, at this point, the only people that are watching Kingdom are the people who like Kingdom.
Kingdoms 1 through 5 or whatever.
So I'm not sure
That's
why
probably true.
anybody would be giving this a bad score if it's been
That's probably
pretty
true.
long running.
But
So let's
true,
see.
it's also, I've heard good things about it, so.
So let's see. The top 3 anime that are available for voting are Dangers in My Heart, Season 2, Mashal, Season 2.
Wouldn't mind
and-
watching another season of Mashal.
I don't want to watch Mashal.
Based on what
So
we have
fucking
this
dumb.
season, I wouldn't mind.
And 7th Loop. Those are the top 3 that we haven't already passed or are eligible. Obviously, Kingdom is in its 5th season. We already passed Solo Leveling. We passed Sign of Affection.
We haven't done a villainous show in a while.
Yeah,
I feel
probably
like we're due.
No, we just watched that villainous show and it was really bad.
Which one?
Endo and Kobayashi Live, the villainous.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't
yeah,
watch
you're
that.
right.
I
You're
didn't
right.
watch that nonsense.
God, it was so
Technically,
terrible.
it has been a while since it came out, though.
Come
we kind of got
on.
to that review late. Okay, not all of them are that bad, Mitch.
Mitch, what's
I
your
swear.
pick?
I
What's your
swear.
Oh, my pick. I think it's gonna be Dangers in My Heart easily. There's no fucking doubt about
Okay,
it. And
well-
and honestly, I can't. God damn, was the first season of this given like almost a 9? Like, there's no fucking way this.
Yeah, it
anime-
was really high up there.
8.2, and now it's an 8.7. Come on, what's he gonna do? What's he really
They're
gonna
going
do?
more into the relationship. I don't know. They're giving exactly what you wanted.
He's as tall. He comes up to like her belly button.
He's in middle school. He'll grow a bit.
I already told you he's
drinking
going
his
through
milk.
puberty. You never know.
God, why are we even having a romance anime about a kid who didn't even hit puberty yet?
Because he used to think he wanted to kill his love interest.
Stupidest
It's
fucking shit
different.
I've-
Damn.
Just don't expect me to like suddenly think that anime is like the. You know,
Oh,
the-
Mitz,
the
if
big- the
you
big tits
said
or
that you
something.
liked this show, I would be concerned for you medically.
I'm gonna
I'd be
need a
like,
make-out
"Mitz,
scene or something because
are you okay? Is something going on in your life? Do you need a hug? I would be concerned.
well, the girl in the anime is pretty hot.
Well, it's out of our hands now. It's up to you if you want to make us suffer or suffer more. That's really your 2 options. So with that, stay on the lookout. Social media, Discord, YouTube. We'll post the link to the listener choice there. Fill it out. Probably the second you see it, because we know pretty quickly and we might close it. So do that if you could. We'd really appreciate it. Give us reviews if you want. If not, just send us money. Just give us money. We'll be happy. We'll love you a little bit. Next week, back to reviews. We're watching Rurouni Kenshin, the 2023 remake. So get ready for that. Find all our bonus content on our website, AAApodcast.com, and we will see you next week. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you.
Bye.
Oh my goodness, it's already February. I was going to say in February. We're here. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.